Welcome to the Legal Navigator webinar. I'm your host, Rebecca from Law Training Centre. Today, we'll be delving into the topic of becoming a UK immigration law advisor. We have a wonderful guest speaker joining us on this webinar, Svitlana Shlapak. Svitlana is a leading expert in UK immigration law with over 20 years of experience. As a former University of Westminster law student, Svitlana achieved an early milestone by winning an immigration case before the Honourable Mr. Justice Hodge in 2003 while still at university. Currently, Svitlana is an OISC Level 1 trainer, crafting and delivering essential training on immigration regulations. She's also a senior immigration solicitor and senior visiting lecturer at the University of Westminster. Svitlana has shaped many legal careers through her teaching and supervision. Svitlana's extensive experience includes nearly a decade at a major legal charitable organization, and she has created over 1,000 educational resources on UK immigration law. She's fluent in 3 languages, holding 2 bachelor's degrees. Svitlana's dedication and expertise are truly remarkable. Today, Svitlana will be providing us with invaluable information into UK immigration law profession and how you can begin your journey towards practicing immigration law today. If you could just start off by giving our listeners just a bit more about your background and your journey into practicing immigration law, that would be great.
Absolutely. I have graduated. I have a degree in philology from Ukraine, and then I got a scholarship to study law here in the UK. And when I was at the last year at the legal practice course, I've chosen immigration law as my elective. And at around that point, my mom contacted me. She was a university lecturer in Ukraine, and she told me that one of your students' visas got refused, and she asked me to approach my tutor to see whether we could help her appeal against the decision. So I approached him, and he said, Svitlana, I'm not going to help you because you're going to do everything by yourself. So he taught me how to prepare the appeal bundle. He showed me how to prepare for the hearing. And I was absolutely horrified when the hearing was listed to be held in front of Henry Hodge, who later became Henry Hodge. And I was shaking, my knees were shaking, and I've lost my voice, but I did represent the student because her interests were very important to me, and to my huge surprise, I won this case. And at the hearing, Sir Henry Hodge told me that, Svitlana, you may become a very good immigration advisor. I strongly advise you to take this path. And this is where it's all started. I've approached my university lecturer, asked him for further guidance. After that, he became my mentor, and this is how I started my journey.
Wonderful, that's brilliant. So from your journey so far, it would be great just to know if there's any rewarding aspects from you on a personal level, or if you can just share from anybody else you know that would have success going through the immigration law pathway.
Absolutely. I am originally from Ukraine, and I was a visa national myself for many, many years. And one of my most important visas, indefinite leave to remain, was refused. And I went through this very, very painful journey of appealing against the decision, and I was successful. So when I'm helping my clients, immigration clients, I know personally what they are going through, and therefore my level of compassion grew immensely during this process. And also, in immigration law, it's such a rewarding area of law. I can't forget the names, I can't forget the surnames, but I will never, ever, ever forget my clients' stories. And only recently I received an email from one of the clients. I helped him when I was working at one of the legal charitable organizations many years ago. It was around 15 years ago. And he wrote, Svitlana, you probably don't remember me, but I was a student, my visa was refused, and then you helped me, and we were helping free of charge because we were a legal charitable organization. And it took us a couple of years, but we did win the appeal. But after all those years, I still remember the case. I still remember how we were fighting for the guy and how we were trying to win this case. And every single time when we were trying to help someone, especially when it was very hard and challenging case, you always have it. You always remember their stories, you always remember their lives, and it's always important, and it's always very close to your heart.
Amazing. So you touched on the challenges just now, but it'll be good to know, just in your opinion, what are the particular skills that are required to be an immigration advisor, and how would people overcome the challenges that, the role normally entails?
I remember when I became a trainee solicitor myself, and I went to one of the professional development courses, and I remember a very experienced tutor told us that at that level, we had more or less the same level of expertise, but what helps us stand out is our communication skills. So it's really important to learn how to communicate effectively. And after many years, I realized that a number of my immigration clients did not understand the law because it's very challenging, it's very complicated. So the first skill to learn is just to ensure that the clients understand the very challenging nature of the immigration law. The second one is we have to be very compassionate. They all are very, very vulnerable people, and they all need help. Thirdly, it's important to have attention to detail. I remember one of the cases where one of the partners of a British citizen, her visa was refused, and she approached me, and I looked at the documents, and unfortunately the refusal was correct. It was in accordance with the law, and I went through the refusal again and again and through all the documents, and then I realized that her application was submitted in June 2012, and they've changed the rules in July 2012. And the July rules were much harder to satisfy than the June ones. And they've considered her application under the July rules as opposed to June rules. And this tiny bit completely changed, this client's life and her partners and her sons as well. That's very important. And another very important thing is to have, coming back to challenges, to maintain this balance in life. It's about it's like on a plane, this oxygen mask. You have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anyone else. Just make sure that you have this healthy balance, because sometimes you just forget about everything and you just want to work as much as possible in order to be able to help your clients.
No, that's really brilliant and wonderful. So, what opportunities would you say are available for people who have qualified with OICS and they are now immigration advisors? Is there a strong demand for immigration advisors in the legal sector?
Okay, first of all, the fact that we are usually helping the clients where English is not their first language, and also because a lot of them are coming from abroad, so they are not aware of the UK immigration system. They fall into this category of being very vulnerable clients, and therefore anyone who wants to practice immigration law will need to be regulated. So you cannot just start practicing UK immigration law without becoming regulated. It can be with the Solicitors Regulation Authority, or it can be with OISC, but you have to be registered. So this extra step brings you above the competition. So it's not as easy to practice immigration law as opposed to family law or civil litigation. So you have to take this extra step in order to qualify. And then your doors open everywhere, so you can apply to become a house immigration advisor. You can set up your own company in order to advise them. You can work for legal charities. You can work under the umbrella of other OISC legal organization. You can even become a teacher. Like me, I've been teaching for a number of years, for over a decade now, because it's my passion. I absolutely love teaching, and you can do whatever you want with immigration. And I personally consider this to be such an incredible and immensely rewarding area of law.
Brilliant. So good point that you've touched on the accreditation aspect. So you'll be teaching our level 1 OISC training course. It'd be great just to find out just further information about that actual course. So if you could just start off by giving us the prerequisites for enrolling on our level 1 courses. Are there any specific qualifications or prior knowledge required?
The good news, Rebecca, is that you absolutely do not require, apart from your deepest desire to succeed and to study this fascinating area of law, you don't need anything. You don't need to be a solicitor. You don't need to pass the SQE exam. You don't need to practice in any area of law. All you have to do is just to have this commitment to succeed, because we'll expect all our students to attend all lectures, to watch all the lectures, to actively participate in the lectures and in the small group sessions. It's very important for the students to prepare, because it's very, very challenging area of law. And it's very important to understand that your participation, the students' participation in the lectures, as well as participating in the lectures by answering the questions which I will be asking during the lectures, and also preparing this material for the small group session is crucial to your success. And very important aspect is for you to ask me questions during the small group sessions, because we'll have unique live sessions where you will have full access of me and to my 20 years of experience. And with regards to the demand for these services, it's worth remembering that in 2023, they've granted over, or rather, they've considered over 3.2 million visas. So we are in huge demand, and the more solid the deeper we prepare for these sessions, the deeper foundation we have, the better advisors will become in future.
Wonderful. So that was just for the course itself, but in terms of getting like the actual accreditation, do you need any specific work experience to qualify as an immigration advisor through OISC?
If you decide to take OISC route, they will expect you to usually have at least 3 months full-time experience or exposure to immigration law, or the equivalent part-time, the same amount of hours in immigration law. And if you don't have experience in immigration law, this can be in other areas of law, such as that, or welfare benefits. It can be commercial law, it can be housing, but it's usually is the equivalent of 6 months or the part-time equivalent. So it's either 3 months of immigration law. And just to remind our listeners that completing the application forms for themselves or for their friends will not count as a personal experience. So it has to be an exposure to something deeper than that, probably advising at the law clinic, or some other experience working along some qualified solicitors or immigration advisors will help.
Brilliant. So how does your training in particular prepare students for their level 1 exams?
We have at the Law Training Center, we have absolutely a brilliant course. My colleagues and I have developed a very comprehensive course which covers all aspects of the UK immigration law. So we have teach the rules on the visitor's application, on the personal migration, on the British nationality law. And we also talk about asylum, although you don't need to have experience and detailed knowledge of asylum at this stage at level 1. We just explain what this is. And we also talk about ethics, which is really important, which is part of the assessment as well.
Brilliant. So in addition to that, what sort of resources and materials are provided to students?
Rebecca, we don't have, I would like to start with the good news. We don't have any textbooks, because if we decide to have a textbook, by the time it's published, it's going to be out of date, because let's face it, immigration law is an exciting but a very, very fast changing area of law. This year in 2024, they've changed the immigration rules already 3 times, in February, March, and September. So we don't have a textbook, but we have a very, very detailed course book, and we also have PowerPoints. We have seen and unseen material, and we have very detailed resources book where you'll see the prints out of all the immigration rules which we are going to cover during the course. And also, because I've been teaching immigration law for such a long time, I've realized that When someone is looking at Appendix FM, which covers settlement visas where a partner wants to join their British citizen partner, and when they look at 67 pages, they get overwhelmed and they get scared. So what I decided to do many years ago, I decided to start creating mind maps. So before I introduced my students to the exhibits and to the case law or to immigration rules, I showed them the mind maps, which is a very simple structure of these rules. And also, just to give you another example, my students, I've noticed they struggled with the concept of British nationality law because of the historical development. It's one of the probably hardest British nationality laws in the world, which I don't blame them for that. And I realized that in order to help them, I have to do something about this. So I've converted the relevant sections of the British Nationality Act into pictures. And according to the testimonials of one of my students, they said, Svitlana, you can wake me up at night and I can tell you exactly what section 1.1 of the British Nationality Act is all about. So we have those as well. And when helping my children with preparing for their A-levels and GCSEs, I've realized that flashcards do wonders. I've created flashcards for the students as well. So we have all these resources. My aim is not to only introduce you guys to the challenging and exciting world of UK immigration law. My role is to ensure that you love this subject, and I want to give it in the most enjoyable way, so that you can, with a very quickly transfer the knowledge from the short term into the long term memory, and you have it there, so you have the very solid foundation.
Oh, that's wonderful. So in terms of job prospects and career advancement, what impact would you say this qualification would have on that?
It's as I said before, it will open, the sky's the limit, so you can you can apply, because it's a rare thing for the legal advisors to have this OISC registration. We have a number of OISC registered people, but in order for someone else to qualify, if they like immigration law, they have to pass the exam, which is quite challenging. And therefore, we have this course, and therefore we take a number of hours to prepare our students to take this course. And as I said, we can they can set up their own firms, they can work for someone else. And the good news is, Rebecca, we are not leaving you guys there. We are not only leaving after you pass your OISC Level 1 exam. We can hold your hand and we can show you how to progress further in your career, and how to understand and how to look after your clients, and how to become a very effective immigration advisor.
That's really good. It's good that you talk about the post-qualification aspect and helping people throughout their career. Are there any additional training that one can take to enhance a career in this field?
Yes, because it's a fast-changing area of law, and even now, when submitting the applications, just I've submitted one a couple of days ago. Every single time I'm going through the immigration rules, and I check whether or not they've changed anything. So a continued professional education is a must. And also I advise everyone to become a member of ILPA, that's Immigration Law Practitioners Association, very, very important organization for immigration advisors. It helps you stay up to date. I always take the courses in order to stay up to date with my knowledge. It's really important for everyone to explore various parts of immigration law as well, because we have three parts. We have asylum, personal immigration, and business immigration. I started with asylum, and for me it was quite challenging because of the emotional aspect. And then personal immigration is my favorite. Absolutely love it, because it helps you think outside the box. You always have to invent. There are no easy applications in immigration law, especially in personal immigration. And a couple of years ago, I decided to explore the business immigration. And to my huge surprise, it's much easier than personal immigration, but it's very, very enjoyable. Though sometimes we have bundles of documents consisting of 500 pages, but it's enjoyable.
Wow.
It's nice. And I also advise everyone to develop their network. Even now, when I'm submitting the challenging applications, I have my colleagues, I discuss cases with them just to see, because there is no, you never have the same opinion as your colleague. So you would always gain something from talking to other people. So immigration law makes you very humble as well. You always learn, and that is enjoyable aspect of immigration law. And also, of course, very importantly, to have mentors. I have a number of mentors. I am a mentor to a number of people as well. That's really, really important, because they can support you during very challenging periods of time, and they can be a number of those because it's a very challenging area of law, but also they can celebrate your big wins and your clients' big wins with you.
That's amazing. Just out of curiosity, with the three areas of immigration law you've mentioned, for somebody who's starting off the first time, is there any particular area that you would recommend that they should go for first, or is it just dependent on the person?
I think the easiest one, because you're not even allowed to practice asylum at this stage. The easiest one, probably the most straightforward one, is the business immigration. Although for a number of students, this may be very intimidating, because there are a number of boxes to tick.
Mhm.
But this is probably the easiest one. Personal immigration is very enjoyable. So, and I promise you that if you join our course, you will have a very solid foundation, and you will feel very comfortable with doing business immigration and straightforward applications. This is what is allowed at level 1. So that's straightforward business immigration and personal immigration.
Brilliant. So, any important advice or tips that you can give students who are looking to specialize in immigration law? Think about an advice that perhaps you wish you would have known before you started specializing in this area.
The first one is communication. I was very, very shy person, and if I knew that it's a skill which is quite easy to develop, so I was advised to join a local Toastmasters club, and it helped me within 3 months to overcome my shyness, because it was a huge hurdle for me in my professional career. Also, not being shy and talking to people, trying to understand your clients, and communicating in very easy to understand language. It's really important to gain tons of personal experience and tons of professional experience. So when you have assistance or help of someone who is experienced in these fields, when you have access to their template letters, to their good habits of working with the clients, or when they advise you on what's the best way to interview your clients, or how you can support your clients, this is really, really important. And the most important thing is not to give up, and to try and enjoy every single part of your journey in this very enjoyable area of law.
Wonderful. So just one final thing to touch on, assessments and examinations. Are they included within the course? And if so, could you just elaborate on that?
We test our students every single time, every single lesson. So I give them the multiple choice questions, and during the small group sessions, we go through the questions and the answers. And it's really important. I don't care if they give the right or the wrong answers, as long as they give their answers, that's very important. And also, what I've noticed is that a lot of students find that drafting exercise is really, really hard for them. So we do have the element of drafting as well. And I promise you guys that if you join us within the first 2 or 3 lessons, you'll understand that, again, it's a teachable skill, and it's very, very easy to understand and to do well in your exam, because there will be a drafting element in your OISC Level 1 exam. And finally, we are giving the mock exam questions. I think it's the I think it's the last small group session where we're going to go through the all the questions and answers for the mock exam question.
Brilliant. That's wonderful. So that was it on my end. I don't know if there's any other key takeaways that you would like to say towards people who want to get started today.
You know, I would not be on this call if with all my heart, I would like to say that I'm absolutely in love with UK immigration law. I'm very passionate about this subject because it changes lives. It helps you become a better person, and it's very challenging in terms of you always stay up to date. I compare this with surfing. You know, it's never the same. It's the same as with sky. It's never the same. It's always beautiful. Sometimes it's very challenging, but it's so worth it. The journey is beautiful, and it's such a rewarding professional career if you decide to choose one. So I would like to encourage you guys to try and give us a chance and to show all the beauty of immigration law.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for listening to the Legal Navigator webinar. If you have any questions or you're ready to get started with your studies, please feel free to send us an email to info@ltckent.co.uk, or for more information, please visit our website at ltckent.co.uk.